So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. In this episode, I'm going to tell you the top 5 best iPhones if you're a beginner coming over to the iPhone experience. You've always used Android. This is going to be the video for you. As of the recording of this video, it is February 2023. Now, we're going to begin with the very first model you should pick up, and keep in mind, I'm going to be talking about models that are relatively affordable by most people's standards. And what I mean by that is phones that are no longer officially for sale by Apple as much, and they've come down drastically since their beginning, price points. So this is going to be, the iPhone SE 2022. Now, you could still buy this new at a higher price, or you can simply look for this on your own secondhand and find this thing under $200. Now, this phone is an incredible way to get into the iPhone experience because you have an Apple A15 Bionic chipset in here. Now, that A15 Bionic chipset is the same one found in the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. That's going to give you an incredible performance, and you have 4 GB of RAM, which makes this the fastest SE yet. It also has a very simple, easy to use experience with a home button like their older iPhones. You could snap a photo and you'll be able to go home all the time simply with that home button. It also doubles as a fingerprint sensor, so you can just hold down and get into the phone. If you've never used iPhone, you are going to have bezels here, and that's not going to look too pretty by comparison to some of the Android phones on the market, but at least, it's a good way to start with the iPhone. But if you're looking for something a little bit more modern, you're going to be upgrading. We'll get on to the next model here. The next model in the lineup that I do recommend you pick up, and this one has come down drastically, is the iPhone 12 mini. Now, this phone right here is going to give you a slower processor than the iPhone SE 2022, but look at the design differences. You will be able to get an experience of iPhone that feels a lot more like the current iPhone experience that you'll find on iPhone 14 and stuff like that. Although the notch is wider, this is still a small, comfortable phone to hold and use, and it's going to give you the more modern gestures and stuff like that. So you'll pull down from the top instead of pulling down anywhere. On this phone, Control Center will be from the top right corner on this device, and you'll have App Library just like you will on the SE. Overall, this will be a great way to get into the iPhone for the first time. Now, this is going to give you the 14 Bionic, so it's one generation older. However, the iPhone 12 minis can be found now for right around $300 or so. So I'm talking if you're looking for them on your own, secondhand, they don't sell them officially anymore. So that's going to be the second one I recommend if you want to go a little bit higher end than the iPhone SE. This also gives you an OLED panel versus a weak LCD on that one, and a dual camera setup, and it also does have support for 5G. Now, these phones aren't great in the battery life, so we're going to talk about the next option if you want to upgrade in battery life and screen size for your first iPhone, and that's going to be the iPhone 11. Now, again, you could get the iPhone 12 version for a little bit more, but I'm trying to keep the price points a little bit lower here, so the iPhone 11. Now, the reason I recommend the iPhone 11 is because it has longer battery life than the iPhone 12, and it's very comfortable to hold. It can be found at lower price points, and the cameras weren't majorly upgraded to the iPhone 12. It is a 4G phone, so this would be kind of outdated right from the start in terms of mobile performance, but it still does very well this year, and it's a great budget option, a great beginner's option for you here. Again, if you want to spring a little bit more cash, simply go up to the iPhone 12. This phone is a little bit more money, but it's going to be about the same experience with 5G performance. But the iPhone 11 is still great. LCD panel is very easy on the eyes, is very easy to use. It's a great starter iPhone for sure, and a much larger screen, and just really performs well, looks good, feels durable. It's a really strong offering right there in the iPhone 11. Now, if you want to go up in size, you want to go up in, a bigger size phone, my recommendation for you, if you're having used iPhone and this is your first time, but you want to go to a big phone, is the iPhone 12 Pro Max for the first time. You can find these 12 Pro Maxes now for well under their starting price points, well under $700 in some cases. And these phones offer you specs that rival the current phones. No, they're not better than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, but this phone is offering you everything that most phones in 2023 are offering you. Big display, OLED display, long battery life, triple camera setups. You're getting almost everything for a reduced price point, and as a beginner, you won't have to pay $1,000 plus to get such a good value and a good deal if you go over to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So my recommendation is 12 Pro Max if you guys are looking for your first iPhone to be a big iPhone. You're looking to try it at a lower price point than over $1,000. Look for yourself a well-used iPhone 12 Pro Max that's not really low on the battery capacity. And lastly, if you have a little more cash to spend and you want to spend a little bit more and you're okay with, trying a newer iPhone, my recommendations is the iPhone 14 or even the iPhone 13. So those two options right there. Reason why is these offer pretty much everything you would need in a phone. Really high quality cameras, really good displays, more modern notches, faster CPUs than some of these phones right here. And also just gonna give you basically perfect performance, long-term software support. No 120 Hertz on any of these phones, but I don't think anybody beginning with iPhone is gonna need any of those features. So let me know your thoughts on this one. Do keep in mind though, if you are picking one of these up secondhand as your first iPhone, make sure you find out the battery health. Make sure that that thing is at least above 90%. You don't want to get one in the 80s because then they start to lose capacity quicker, they drain faster. I find if they're above 90%, they last all day, just like when they were new. But as they get in them 80s, I start seeing them percentages fall off. So do keep that in mind. So these are my recommendations here. Let me know your thoughts, which you would recommend as a beginner phone. And if you're trying out iPhone for the first time and you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below. We have a thriving community over here that will help you answer, and I will help you answer as well if I do get a chance to see your comments. So go ahead and drop them down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.